Hello everybody, my dear students, welcome to our next Python lesson. We continue learning operators. There are many different operators in Python. There is no point basically to memorize them at once. You have to just practice and you have to understand some basic concepts behind them. In particular, there are three types of operators: arithmetic, comparison, logical, and from the syntax point of view, they could be binary or unary. So they may work on two variables or literals and produce result, or they can work just on one variable or literal, and it is called unary operator. Now, we covered arithmetic operators in the previous lesson. Keep in mind, they work on numbers and they produce numbers. Comparison or relational operators are still working on numbers. However, they produce true-false results, Boolean results. So I prepared for you a short demo, comparison operators. And what I got in line, let me turn it on. So what I got in line 2 and 3 is two integer variables, and I trying to use different now comparison operators, and there are 6. So altogether we have 6 comparison operators. Some of them 2 symbols, some of them just 1. You can see them in this table: equality operator, not equality, greater than or equal to, less than, and less than or equal to. So they accept 2 operands, 2 numbers, and they produce true-false result. For example, I test first equality operator. So I compare 22 and 20. So the result is Boolean value, and I save it in line 4, and then I print it. You see, I print a message if 22 is equal to 20, and I print the result of the comparison. Then I do in line 6 comparing for not equality. Then in line 8 I compare if one of them is greater than the other. Line 10, greater than or equal to. Line 12, less than, and line 14, less than or equal to. By the way, the interesting thing is you may compare not only numbers, integers and floats, you can compare strings. How it works? Strings are basically sets of characters, and if you compare one string to another, you compare them character by character. So you compare first characters, because any character has a code, ASCII code, a number. For example, letter A letter A is just a certain number. Capital A is another number. So if I compare strings, I compare first characters, and if the first character is less than the first character of the second string, then the whole string is considered to be less. If the first character of the first string is greater than the first character of the second string, then the whole string considered to be greater. So you just compare first characters, and based on the result of the comparison, you can tell which string is greater or less. If they are the same, of course, it's possible the first characters are the same, then you proceed. You go to the second character and you compare them. If they are the same, you go to the third until you reach the end of the shortest string. So that's when you stop comparing. By the way, keep in mind, long, small letters always greater than capitals. They have higher codes than capital letters. Empty string without characters, is less than any other string. So I can see in line 18, I compare ABC and ABCD, and obviously ABC is greater than ABC capitals, so the result of this should be false. Okay, so maybe it's a good idea to add one more lemma, because strings don't have to be the same length. For example, I compare ABCD and ABCD, because second string is longer, it's considered to be greater. So the message is also changed. So let's try now. I explain you the coding. We can run it. We can run the comparison or relational operators demo. I'm gonna save the changes. I'm gonna run it. And what I see is the results of the comparison operators. You see, 22 is not equal to 20. But if I'm comparing for not equality, that's true. That's true. They not equal. If 22 greater than 20, true. Greater or equal, true. So you see, all the results are actually what we expect according to our common sense. ABC small is not less than ABC capital. And finally, as I told you, if we compare two strings and they have the same first characters, but one string is longer, it's considered to be greater. So this string is greater than this one. Okay, now the third type of Python operators is logical. So we have 3 logical operators, and we're gonna need them a lot when we cover if statement. In if statement, you're going to use logical operators very often. So let me open the demo. Logical operators. So if comparison operators, they work on numbers or strings and they produce Boolean values. Logical operators supposed to take 2 Booleans and they produce Boolean. You see what I did? I created 2 Booleans and now I'm trying to apply and, or, and not logical operators. What are the rules? The rules are common sense. So if you combine by and, let me show you Boolean rules. If you combine true and true, of course you have true. But if you combine true value and false value, the result is false. False and true, false. And of course, false and false is false. Or is a little bit different because true or true is true, but true or false is still true. Look at the difference. True and false, false, but true or false is true. And negation is quite obvious. If you apply it to false, you get the true. If you apply it to true, you get the false. So let's run our demo. Let me open it. It's very short. You see, just 2 variables. Now they are Boolean. And I try to show how and is working, how or is working, and how not is working. So if I combine true and false by and, I get false. If I combine true and false by or, I get true. And if I reverse true, I get false. So let's run it. True and false is false. True or false is true. Not true is false. Everything is exactly what we expect. I wanted to tell you then that a plus or addition operator is overloaded in Python. Yes, you can of course use plus to add numbers, but also you can use plus to combine strings. Sometimes we call it concatenation. Let me show you the demo. So I got variable first name, I got a variable last name, I got integer variable 25, and then I show you concatenation. So concatenation here is not addition. So plus is now not addition. Now you may ask how Python understand when to use plus as mathematical operator or when to use plus as a strings operator. It depends on the operands. So if the operands are numbers, yes, of course, it's going to be a sum, arithmetics. If the operands are strings, then it's going to do concatenation. It's not possible to concatenate, by the way, a string and a number. You have to first cast. You have to bring both operands to the same type, then you can apply plus operator. So you see, I combine string John and Brown. Then in the next line, I did a little bit more advanced trick. I'm not only combining strings, I'm combining integer variables. However, as I told you, you have to cast it first. So here I cast age to the string, to the text, and then I concatenate. So let's run this program. Let's see what happens. You see, first name and last name concatenated, and then complex message is printed. John Brown is 25 years old. I would like to, because we just finished this important topic about operators. What I would like you to tell is like a summary. So first of all, we have three groups of operators: arithmetic, comparison, logical. Operators implemented as special symbols or keywords. They can be binary or unary. Remember, whenever you use operators, keep in mind the type of the operands you can apply them and the type of the results your operator is going to produce. Mostly operators don't change their operands, but to increment and increment they do. Operator plus is overloaded in Python. It has two meanings. By the way, minus is also overloaded. You may use it, sorry, it's not negation for doubles. It is negation for numbers. So if you apply minus to two operands, you do subtraction. But you may apply just to one variable or one literal. Then you negate. 5, for example, becomes minus 5, or minus 5 becomes 5. So operator minus is also overloaded. It may be used as a subtraction, or it may be used as a negation. Thank you very much. We're moving as fast as I can. Every day, new lesson. Please support the channel. Help me with your likes, with your comments. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.